Yeah, it's very, very tight when it gets lower right now. Saf Zayt can still do that as well. And we talk about like, the prestige. There's also a lot of beef on the line. There has been a lot of teams talking smack. You have Zayt, Saf, and Stretch calling out Booger's team for not performing with uncontested Stark throughout the weeks. They now have uncontested Dooms, and they're doing the worst they've ever done. So they really need to come back in the tail half here and impress, because you don't want to be made to eat your own words if Booger's team beats out Zayt's team.
100% now. We're going to hop on over, though. Booga Avery Jamper gives you guys a little bit of an update what the loadout's looking like. Not a lot of medium bullets, but everything else sort of coming together here. And this is why in that last big highlight clip that we saw Booga hit the snipe shot, this is why they never have sniper shots. It's just the ammunition's a bit scarce here for the heavy, for the medium bullets, but they managed to make do with it, even against all odds here. Avery's the one really hoarding onto it. It looks like he's got to do some sharing.
Oh, it looks like Avery has to do some sharing with the vault, but doesn't realize the team is in there. Legend Dian comes out. We're talking about Team New Age all day here, but it's the new signing of Legend Dian that's going to really affect this leaderboard. That's your 5th place team. Only one of them's down. There is a reboot van here, but the zone is coming. I don't think they're going to be able to pull off a reboot here unless this team rotates quickly, and that's a big loot increase for them. They're now only 123 above the Storm Surge, so this team is proving they can do it all. Now they can clutch up even when they're shambles. They can identify those fights, and let's see the confidence. Is a team finally going to stop this team? Is somebody finally going to be able to say, no, you aren't the best team in NA East? And no, never mind. Right now, they're proving why they're in the lead as Day just gets in on an entire team. When have you ever seen a team in a major region run through every other team with ease? We are now over 10 games in, and no one has been able to stop this team. No one has beaten them in a straight 3v3. This is insane.
Miro has the most elims. That's all said. So, like, he's the slayer of the squad. He's got 0 this time around. Day's right behind him, but you know he's going to be able to follow up without a single problem. And that's how they're dropping teams right now.
And look at that, they've now got their eliminations, they've got their surge, they've got more loot, and it's just crazy. They're in the lead, but they've been playing like this all weekend, and this is when usually teams are like, cool.
And just to jump on that, it's not just dominant fashion, it's also different drop spot. Like, they're doing something completely different, and they did it through the qualifying weeks. Dirty Docks first, taking up Fortilla, now a brand new drop spot by the castle. Just to give you an idea of how good Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day have been throughout this week. They have flex dropped consistently and successfully made it work every single week they played Fortnite. Here, though, another big team. Not necessarily as flex. They did have some opportunities to play Stark, but they're back at their home drop spot. They're doing very, very good. Still far off of first, but very consistent so far nonetheless.
This is a team that's dropped down a little bit here. Aspect, Zunis, and NPen came into today on 4th, really close to 3rd, and now they've dropped right back into 7th. So really got to pick up the pace because they've been playing such good Fortnite this whole weekend, and you don't want to let it slip now. Aspect has been in these situations before, an absolute veteran. So I don't think it's the pressure, just something isn't clicking, but I know they can make it work because they really want to jump up into that big, big prize money, and this loadout is the one to do it. They've got the good positioning, and this is probably one of the easiest zones we've seen today, right, Monster? It's pretty, like we've been saying, vanilla. There's a bit of water, there's kind of some hills, there's no mountains, there's no like steamy stacks, no giant buildings. It's gonna play out and anyone can win this one.
Yeah, these are the ones that get the most exciting. The slight elevation, nothing too crazy. It's all bronze, all guts. Let's see how it's going to play out, though. Remember, this last game just shows you what happens when you fall behind from one single round. Zuni's Aspect to NPen, the Booga opener, the quick drop on the squad here really set them back. They fell all the way down to 7th place. But when I say that, I mean they're just 5 placements off of top 4, all right? So it's that neck and neck here. A few eliminations here make the difference for the squad. But nonetheless, you cannot fall. If you're in the top 10, you're in the top 5, and you fall, you're going to fall a massive amount of slots, and it's going to be that much harder to close the gap. That's how much, that's how stiff the competition is from 2nd to 10th.
And look at that edge right now. Reverse 2K down there at a decent spot. But if you look at that mini-map, it is congested beyond congested. There's a few teams out here in the open, and we always talk about being, dead side versus congested side. In stack lobbies like this, though, I'm a little bit scared for teams like Dubs, Mega, and Riversun out here, because if they've got to make their rotate, or if they start getting lobby focused, they have nothing to hide behind. So they've got to be really, really careful of which edits they open up right now, because if any of them get knocked, or if they get cracked, the lobby focus will just unleash on them. But teams like Reverse right now have so many teams on top of their head. If they don't navigate properly, they're in a very risky position.
Here it is, though. Looking out to put some pressure down. Dubs is not going to connect anything. Mega looking out the other side. He's got to be careful. All these fresh builds do bring a lot of attention, especially considering they are inside the safe zone. A lot of lines of sights on the Riversound. He's going to have a team land right in front of him. He looks to open up the edit right now. He's actually controlling all these pieces as well. It's looking pretty good for them. They might be able to take this box fight. This team landed so close. They're poising up for it. Do have to be careful. I wonder if they have some crash pads to go in and extend this one out. It might just work.
And it's crazy to talk about a team as if they're like a struggling team that can maybe win this box fight, because there's Mega, Dubs, and Riversan, such decorated players. Riversan was doing better than any other team coming into these tournaments as a trio, but he split last minute with Furious and Illest, picked up Mega and Dubs, and just hasn't found their success. So they really need to do something in this tail half. Otherwise, he's going to feel really bad about that decision right now.
Definitely. Now you can see the other attention coming from the rest of the lobby now. The half in, half out's going to pop. It's going all the way east here. It's looking like the perfect kind of flat zone some people could only dream for. And they have the opportunity. Cosmix is going to fall here to Dubs. The quick follow-up, and that is also onto the next player too. All of a sudden now they have granted themselves 2 eliminations, and they are able to claim the loot. Dubs jumps in. Riverson jumps in. They are able to grab all of this. That is great for the rotate up ahead.
And I saw Sense and Edgy and Commandment get 2 eliminations in the feed too, so they're pushing their second place a little bit further beyond right now as Jamper taking down Unknown here. So we got some big teams really shaping up here. I think we have every single team in the top 5 still up right now and looking pretty healthy as no Day falls. This is big. This is something we have not seen. Our first place team losing a member in the mid game. I know that sounds crazy, 9 games into a grand final, but this literally has not happened until now. We have to see whether they can bounce back from this.
Yeah, and if it did happen, they got the revive off. So that's the difference between then and now. Oh, it's a big knock's going to hop in here to Fop. Fop's down. That's the second time now we watch him eat a massive shot on broadcast, unfortunately. But Mega with the beautiful follow. He's probably not going to get the conclusion, but still a very high-class shot here from the high ground spot. And now they are able to dominantly hold it. They do have to be careful, though. The more likely they are to hold this one passively like this with ramps, the more likely they are to get landed on and have height snatched up from them. So they do have to be careful. You saw right there, Zate poising up. Like, this is the guy to do it, too. Looking outwards. He doesn't have a cone over his head like everyone else would have in a situation. It's because they love to jump out. They love to surprise the high ground teams. As we hop over to the other side, 8 elims here for Kaz and Polarize. Not too bad as a 2-man squad.
And that was really just 2 sides of the battlefield, right? Both up on high ground, just looking at each other. Neither one of them building up, but I think at this point right now, it looks like Riverside, Dubs, and Mega actually got zone advantage. But like you said, Zate likes to jump. You know they're going to pounce on that if they can. If they have the mobility, they're going to go for that either way. As 8 eliminations for this team, they're going to try and make it 9, and that they do. They take out Suesuo, but getting eliminations now is a little bit sketchy because they've got to start working on their rotate. And there it is. The Peppermints come out, and Zate goes down to tabs. So Zate's firepower on the high ground is looking a lot worse for wear, which is even better for Riverside, Dubs, and Mega if they were able to do something with it up there.
100%. And guys, this is the halfway mark right here. Game number 4 of the day 2. After this, the qualifier run for grand finals is over. What can you do? As Polarize gets N-Pen here, that means Aspect and Zuni's have to clutch up. Can they get the save? Polarize looking to scramble right now. Shots coming from all over, and he does. He stays alive for a little longer. He gets the thirst. That's onto N-Pen. All that for a point. That makes it 10 elims for them in a massive follow-up. What a shot right there.
Polarized mechanics then to flip the stair to hold the bills. It looked all crazy, but that was so well done to survive that one. As here we go.
Miro's down.
Taking down Miro. There it is. Like you said, Monster, they got him back up. They're just that good. They revived him, but no, there is no revive now. There is no reboot. Miro is down, and Reverse 2K and Day have to do it alone, and Day goes down too, and Reverse 2K. They go down to the X-Dead trio. That is our first place team. This is the first time in almost 10 games that they have been in this situation. They have to sit back and watch and see if their lead holds out, because right now, Commandment's team's still in this. AV's team's still in this. I see Slacks as well. So right now, they're coming for first place.
Shark is down, AV is down, Knight is now down. That's going to conclude the X-Set team. So who else is going to be able to make a run up to the top? Will it be Booga? Will it be Avery? Will it be Jamper? That's another huge follow-up there, and another shotgun shot through the wall. All of a sudden, they are the kings of the low. They are trying to take one from the page of the low ground book. And I mean, they're playing it off well. They have 5 elims already, and they're set up for success.
They're playing it really well, and honestly, we've seen this team go for high ground and usually lose it, but right now, Mega, Dubs, and Riversun are on the high ground. Who is going to challenge it? Because quite often, we're seeing the story of the first team that goes up, doesn't win it, and it's the last team that goes up. Who can hold out and take the high ground at the last minute? If you've got those shockwaves, you've just got to hold that mid and low ground, but it's easier said than done. You have the best of the best in this lobby. They're knocking on your doors, they're knocking on your walls, and if you're not in a safe position, you see things happen like Edgy and Scented going down. That is your second place team. They needed this game so badly. They saw TNA go down in the feed, and this was their chance, and they might be blundering it. I think they're all out of this one.
Yeah, Commandment's down as well. That's going to conclude the second place team. It seems like First will be able to hold it out. This is giving opportunity to the others, though. What are Riverson here, Dubs and Mega going to do with this? They have 5 eliminations and the high ground. I mean, they're basically skating on thin ice here. They do not have a lot of builds, and the zone still has a bit of a stretch. A minute and a half is quite a ways away, so they're going to have to come down and get dirty into this build fight here. They have enough to do it as well. They're scavenging around the outskirts. This is why Riverson's looking around trying to find what he can here. How's it gonna all play,
Booger
though?
just got an entire trio wipe. Booger just took down 3 entire players before he falls to post, so they're dropping big eliminations down there as Jamper goes down as well. This is great for Riversun's team. They get a bit of a refresh. He's coming back up with the materials, but looks like Booger's team has been wounded down there because that's what they needed to try and close this out. Avery goes up. He's the last one. Avery falls. It's Furious, Blake. They're going toe-to-toe with Stretch right now, so it's going to be a 3v2. Furious on the low ground with Blake. This team has been struggling. They started dropping over at Stark. They found no success. Wherever they went this game, this is the furthest we've seen them, but they don't have the end game experience here today, Monster. They have to stay composed in a position they haven't been in yet.
Yeah, they haven't played any end games today, so it is going to be a matter of how quickly they can react to these shots. It's going to be those quick low ground peaks that take home the victory right now. A 6 elimination hold right now from Riverson, Dubs, and Mega. Not too bad for them right now. 47 points today is pretty impressive, but the team on low has to come up. Wait a second, Riverson's down.
Mike.
It's not looking good. Oh no, the big shot though. Well played for Mega.
Yeah, I mean, if NA East was like an album, right? This would be the B-side. This would be day 2. That last game would be an interlude, but it's still the same. That's true. And then the reason I called that last game kind of like an interlude is because everyone wants to focus on the popular tracks, the top 5. It was more about the 6th to 15th place, the going for top 10, like Aussie called it.